Friends and family, how y'all doing? Who's up in here right now? I got 8 likes, 3 people in the chat. Rich, what up? What up? What up? I'm just getting in the crib, get myself together. Had to turn the music off because I lost the last video because of music in the background. Go figure. So this is sports talk. Who's up in here right now? I got 3 people in the building right now. Julio, what up? So once I get about 10 people in here, 15 people in here, I'm gonna let y'all know the rules to the sports talk. There's rules to this. We gotta certain because we talking about sports. And I learned a lot. Earn money, what it do, baby? I learned a lot from my time in the bar, studying, dealing with dudes, ESPN, dealing with media people. I learned a lot. So a couple rules we got to break down before we even get started on this. This is going to be a sports show. I'm going to do a sports show twice a week. Reggie Smith was good. Ray Lawyer was good. So look, 15 in the chat right now. Everybody else got to catch up. So look, I used to watch ESPN and watch all these sports shows, right? And be blown away. Let me turn this down. Blown away by their knowledge. Like Cowboys Nation, we don't block you. Blown away by their knowledge. Like I'm like, oh my God, how they know more than me? You know. Then I found out that these dudes that you see on TV, they have a team of people that give them stats, and they Google stats, and they get all this information. Whereas I was just like trying to find stats. So what we do right now is, if we ever have a disagreement as far as sports go, because I know a lot, but I don't know everything. We will use Google to find out the facts. I'll give you my opinion on certain things in sports, but I would also use facts. I'm a numbers guy, so I will use numbers to death, but I would also give you, numbers aren't everything. I'll tell you, hey, numbers are this, but this is what I feel. So once I found out that these ESPN personalities, these Fox Sports personalities, all these personalities have teams of people Googling and getting stats for them, they weren't really knowledgeable. I was like, oh man, I really study this stuff. I really be looking up stats like every single day. I just went and someone had an argument. Case in point, I'm in a Giants group and someone said, they said, why didn't we draft DJ Metcalf last year? We had 3 first-round picks. I said, well, DJ Metcalf had a neck injury coming out of college, and it's a red flag. He went second round. All the teams passed on Metcalf. Physically, he's a monster, but the neck injury, any position, I don't want to mess with you. So they said, we should have drafted him. I said, well, here's the point. DJ Metcalf had 58, and I'm a stats guy. 58 receptions, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. Second round pick. Darius Slayton who was a fifth round pick, Giants, 5th round pick out of Auburn, had 48 receptions, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns, tied for number 1 in rookie touchdowns. So a second rounder had more yards but less touchdowns and more receptions than a 5th rounder who didn't play till like week 6. I'm good with that. Whereas a lot of Giants fans, Giants fans are hard pressed. New York fans, period. And they were like, no, we should have drafted him. I'm like, with the neck injury, bro, like the neck injury knocks you out. So when I broke down the stats, I said, my 5th rounder had more touchdowns, good yardage, 700 yards, 10 less receptions in 6 less games. I'm sorry, in 5 less games than Metcalf. They didn't understand that. I was like, well, I go with my 5th round. James, what up? Polo Bob said, Cowboy, we gotta get the Cowboys out of here. But I'm non-biased because it's sports talk all day. Fatal Content, what's good? Beat Brooklyn GQ, what up? That is Kevin. Yes, that's the actual profession. I didn't know this. I thought these guys on TV were actually super smart. Like, I'm super smart. I really know stats. I can blow stats at you all day without Google. But when I found out they got teams of people that give them this information every show, that when they talk about a certain topic, they know the stats. I was like, oh my god! I thought these guys were like smart. Like I know most of these stats. So we for this show we'll use Google just to make sure the stats are correct. But I actually thought these guys knew this. That's why I think I pay all that money. I don't get paid no money, but I still know stats. So it is what it is. Joe Burrow, yes. Real brother, anytime you're ready. A lot of people love to talk to me in person with sports because I break it down to people like don't really know. Fatal content, yes, I learned that. They don't. I thought they did. I thought that's why they got paid the millions. I can tell you right now that I'm actually smarter than a lot of these guys when it comes to sports. I don't get paid nothing, so we will use Google if we have a disagreement, if we have something that we don't agree that we see. We're like, hold up, that's the number right here. That might be the number. We'll use Google. It's all good. Tyrone Lawson, what up? What you said? Packers and the Bugs. That's what up. Yes, Polo. They have an earpiece. Yes, you're right. I don't have that. I got my phone here. I will Google anything I don't know. I will Google it. I will tell you guys firsthand. Football is my main sport. Basketball, I'm very good with. Baseball, I follow. Hockey, I actually do follow. But what we'll start doing is for the show, give you guys what my plan is. Since we're going into sports only, for the show, when the sports start back, which we're going to talk about that in a second, I will also do a gambling segment. I'm a sports gambler. Anybody who knows me, I win a lot. I do a lot of parlays, but I will do sports gambling and throw some numbers at you guys, and it's up to you to play it or win. Play it, however you want to play. I'll throw picks at you. You decide how you want to do it. Facts. We can all be wrong, but it is what it is. Niner gang. He said my screen looks better. Nah, it's daytime out here, bro. It's daytime. It's still seven and change. It's still daytime. Yes, I saw it tomorrow. They got the UFC going. I'm not gonna watch it because I'm not big on UFC. I watch every now and then. Rich, I give the winners, bro. Like all I ask is when I give you the parlay, you play what you play. Send that cash app because I'm winning a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Anybody who knows me know I win a lot. But I do parlays. I'll do crazy parlays. Now my bulbs is good. It's still daytime out here. Let me show you guys. Still daytime. So you see where I'm at. Still daytime. I'm on the balcony. So still daytime. It's a different light right now. We're gonna get into the second baseball. I don't know, man. What's that agent name? I forgot the agent's name for baseball players. He's basically saying, don't give them no leeway. They gotta pay you. Scott, but what's his name for the agents for the baseball? I'm sorry, the baseball agent. I saw it this morning. Not Rosa, Bosa. I can't remember his fucking name. Sorry. He said this morning to the players, he said, don't take no pay cut. He said, Scott Boras, thank you, Kevin. Scott Boras said, don't take no pay cut. Tell them pay you with the money they made when they made all that money the past couple years. Pay that money now. When they made over their budget and they made way more than they thought they would make from baseball, pay you now. Don't take no pay cut. He said, don't bail them out. That exact words. Don't bail the owners out. They have the money. They can pay you. So baseball season might be that might be tough. Now, hold on. I just saw somebody said something. Fit 116 content. We're gonna talk about that because that might be a big deal. So Rich said baseball's a tough bet. I'm gonna tell you something, Rich. When I bet baseball, I bet two ways. And I'm gonna teach you guys how I gamble because I gamble differently on sports bet. When I bet baseball, I bet usually a parlay, two or three lines. I usually bet halftime, which is 4.5 innings, 5 innings basically. For the under, if it's good pitching. For the over, if it's good bats and decent pitching. If it's a team like the Yankees, I'll bet the whole game because the Yankees usually win the game in the 8th inning. That's what they do. If it's good pitching, I'll always go under. Okay? So that's baseball. Hockey, it's hard to explain hockey. You got to know the teams in hockey. I win a lot of hockey. Hockey is, if it's a high-scoring team, the over. If it's a defensive team, the under. If it's a good team all around and they're playing a better team, the under. For some reason, overs and unders in hockey are different, but hockey is like baseball, 1.5. So if I bet baseball 1.5, that means you got to win by two scores. I bet hockey 1.5, you got to win by 2 goals. So I win a lot at hockey. I actually blow people's minds how much I win at hockey. Because if you know the teams and how they score, it's kind of like you could. I had one ticket one time. I had a 5-liner, no BS, a 5-liner, and out of this 5-liner, 4 of the teams lost. 4 of the teams lost, but I won the ticket because they covered. The spread was 1.5. They lost by 1, so I won the ticket. Oh, Miami Heat, pretty good, man. Miami Heat. The NBA has not voted yet. They spoke the past 2 days. They have not voted yet. Van Lee, yeah, no runs in the first inning, no scores, yeah. A friend of mine had me doing that, but I don't like that. Sean Patrick, what up? Z, I have not invested in the stock market, man, but I want to. I'm just nervous because everybody's going bankrupt, so I don't know who to gamble with. Turn my ring off, guys. I'm sorry. Let me catch up to these comments. And there's something I want to talk about as we go in, but I'm giving you guys a breakdown of how I'm gonna do the sports talk because for me, I have a lot of knowledge, but I don't know everything. But we will Google something I don't know. Any sport you want to talk about, I'm willing to talk about it. Yes, I do run line. I do run line. I do run line for baseball, puck line for hockey, money line. I do all that. I mean, that's what I do. I'm a gambler, and I have a lot of fun with it. But before I get in, I will say this now. What I want you guys, as the 28 we have in the chat right now, I will say this. I know some of you guys been talking about The Last Dance, and I want to get your thoughts on The Last Dance. I have my thoughts, and I'll tell it to you in a minute. But I want to get your thoughts on The Last Dance. The Last Dance, but now they call it the Jordan documentary, but it was a documentary about the Bulls last season. So NBA said July 1st about 2 hours ago. Okay, I didn't even see that. I just got back home, so I didn't even see that. So July 31st, the NBA is back. Did they say how they're going to do the return? Is it going to be all playoffs? Is the return of the NBA going to be all playoffs? I'm curious about that. I'm very curious. Because some guys said they didn't want to play if it wasn't playoffs. All right, hold on. We'll get into that in a second. Let's go to The Last Dance, my original question. So someone said Jordan should have made sure Scotty got paid. Well, Big Dog Polo, that was not Jordan's fault. If you watch the documentary, even the owner told him you should not take the deal. Scotty was poor. He wanted the money right now. That was the longest deal in NBA history. It wasn't a great deal. He took it. Chicago has a thing of not restructuring contracts, and he told them that. He took it. That's not Jordan's fault. That's Scotty's fault. Scotty was broke and wanted the money. Back then, it's not the money we get now. It's not the money you guys see, the $40 million. It's not that. Back then, $2 million, you was rich in the NBA. Remember, this is the 90s. So that deal was pretty good for back then. But they told him, don't take it because we're not going to renegotiate. My thing with The Last Dance, and here's what I'm going to say about for you guys that are under 30. My thing with The Last Dance is it got to show you guys, and Jordan did this on purpose. Jordan signed the waiver for The Last Dance when LeBron won the last championship. Just so you guys know. This was calculated by Jordan. This is how Jordan is. I'm a Knicks fan. I couldn't stand Jordan, but I respected his gangster. You gotta respect his gangster. When LeBron won his last championship, Jordan, The Last Dance had been done. Remember, this was the 90s. The Last Dance documentary been done. Jordan went and signed the waiver when LeBron won his championship. Perfect timing, huh? But Jordan has to control everything. For you guys that don't know, I know you guys don't know the Jordan story. I'm gonna tell you the Jordan story. Jordan controlled the media. He controlled everyone around him. Everyone who get close to him. If you watch, he was walking, people wanted autographs, and they were moving him out the way. That was Jordan. When Jordan had his first child, two media people were like, "Yo, you had your, I think it was a daughter. You had your daughter." He was like, "God, can I go see my daughter before you release this? Otherwise, no more interviews." Mind you, he's like his second year in the league, and they were like, "Okay." The media would not talk about his kid until he decided to tell them to talk about his kid, which was like 7 days later. Jordan had a lot of power. See, you guys think LeBron got power. That's whatever. No disrespect. I know you young guys think LeBron is the dude. Jordan has a lot of power. Back then, now, Jordan's the Jay-Z of NBA. Nobody likes him. Everybody respects him. So the documentary, obviously, was going to favor Jordan because Jordan wouldn't even sign off on it. He was like, "No, I'm not signing off on it." He signed off when LeBron won his last chip, and they had the release date stay for this year. There's many documentaries where people tell you bad things about Jordan. There's books, they tell you bad things about Jordan. Jordan was an asshole, but everyone respected him because he was Jordan. So for you guys that didn't watch it, it's like man, Jordan was really like that. Yeah, but you know what? You saw how Jordan dominated games. You ain't see Kobe. You ain't see LeBron dominate games like Jordan. No one dominated games like Jordan. That's why I'd say Jordan's always going to be the GOAT for me, because I got to see it. I watched it. In the 90s, my Knicks had probably one of the better teams in the NBA from 92 to 96. 99, we went to the finals against the Spurs. Knicks were amazing, but Jordan stopped us from winning chips. And his own teammate, Patrick Ewing's teammates, even said it. Pat was an asshole, but he should have won chips if it wasn't for Jordan. It's going to be held in Orlando, one site, 1-16 seating, non-conference, 1-8 before. Okay, I didn't even know. I like I said, I just got over here for the live, so I'm gonna find out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is when we have the next live, I will have the update. I don't know. I'm just coming in the crib at 6:30. I don't even know. Mike Smith said he in his 30s. Exactly. If you're under 30, you probably view LeBron as the GOAT, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, which they're all great players. But if you ever saw Jordan, remember, what was that, the 94 season, 93 season? I forget what season that was. Jordan shot 12 threes his entire season. 12 three-pointers. Jordan was an inside scorer, dunks and mid-range shots. That is gone from the game now. That is gone from the game. Nobody does mid-range shots now. You do a three-pointer, You do a 15-footer or you dunk. There's nothing else. And Jordan was the king of mid-range shots. He didn't really shoot threes like that because back then nobody was chucking threes up like they are now. The Ray Allens, the Steph Currys, there wasn't 600 threes in the season. Matter of fact, he played with one of the best three-point shooters of all time, Craig Hodges, who got ran up out of the NBA because he went to the president in a dashiki. Go figure. But three-point champion 2 years in a row. Even came back when he was no longer in the league and competed. So Jordan was just on a different level, and Kobe probably the closest thing you ever see to Jordan with the killer instinct. They call it the Mamba mentality, but killer instinct. LeBron has never been that killer to me. LeBron's a great player. Please don't get me messed up, but he's never had that killer mentality. He's never taken over the game. Jordan has taken over how many games? Oh, Adam Fritz. He said the Pacers. That was for the video. Everybody knows the Knicks were his biggest foe. Knicks beat his ass, damn near like the Pistons used to beat his ass. Everybody knows that was false. He did that for the show. Remember, him and Reggie Miller did go at it, but he know. Mayor, what's going on, baby? He knows damn well that the Knicks were his greatest foe. Yeah, but Fatal, the Heat were doing anything back then, but it was the Knicks and Bulls. I mean, remember, you guys got to remember something, and I'm gonna tell, and on the next sports live, I'm gonna tell you guys a story about how the West was won. If you remember, the East Conference was the biggest conference. Now the West has gotten better and better and better and better. There's a reason for that. Matter of fact, I'll tell you guys now. The reason the West is so strong right now is because during the Jordan era, the East from 91 up until probably 2003 was the major conference in the NBA, the East. So here's what happened. As the East kept dominating, the West kept getting first-round picks. Throw out there Tim Duncan, throw out there whoever you could think of in the 90s. And they kept getting the top players while the East kept getting older. So what happened was, whereas the East was everybody's talking about the West now, the West. That's by design because the East was so dominant during the Jordan era. Everybody in the East was so dominant that when the East kind of faded out and everybody got old, the West had all the first round picks. And the West build themselves up. So all those first round picks and them top players went to the West during the East dominance. Now the West is dominant, and as you see, it's starting to come back a little bit more to the East now, because now the East teams suck, and they're getting the better players. So it kind of went, and it was a documentary I watched where it said for 10 years the East dominated so hard against the West that the West actually got all the top players for like, it was like 6 years straight. The best players in college went to the West. So that, that's what it is. Let me read these comments. Texas governor allowing 25% stadium attendance. Yes, I heard that. A lot of stadiums gonna open up. James Van, what up with you, baby? Jordan averaged 35 points a lot of years, Big Rob. So yeah, you're right. Jordan averaged a lot of points. And yes, Wade was a mid-range killer. Kawhi Leonard is a mid-range killer. Look at Kawhi Leonard. Look at DeRozan. Did you see that? DeRozan, fatal content. DeRozan, mid-range killers. They can shoot threes, but mid-range killers. Jordan was a mid-range killer. You've never seen nothing like Jordan, because back then the three-point wasn't all that. You had guys who shot three-pointers and they couldn't play nothing else. But then Jordan was inside, 15 foot, 10 foot, dunk, whatever it was. I mean, That's why I will always say Jordan's the GOAT, and he took over games. Remember, the dude had 63 in Boston, and they lost. And all because a couple shots. And Jordan's shot selection was not terrible. No disrespect to Houston, but what's the name? James Harden is shooting 12 for 43. I'm sorry. The shot selection nowadays is crazy. Jordan was going like 12 for 18, 11 for 20. That was a bad game. Jordan was actually had a good shot percentage, and he took good shots. Which Kobe, by the way, Kobe at the beginning of his career took very good shots. Towards the end, he was just chucking shots up because he could. It was his league, his team. He do what he wanted. But Jordan never just chucked up shots. You know, like Allen Iverson and Kobe, they were doing 10 for 35. Like, that's dumb to me. That just shows you just throwing shots up. I go 10 for 35, I'm in the league right now. I mean, it's 10. I got 35 shots to make 10. I think I could do it. Facts. Fast breaks the guys from running to the 3-point line. Facts. Lou, what up with you? Thank you, Earn Money. People don't realize the 90s was the hand check. Hand check mean I could, my big ass hand, my hands are small. Imagine a 6'7" dude, big ass hand. Hand check mean I could hold your waist. The hand check changed the game. Let them cut the hand check out, and you can't push Jordan. And back then, you watch, they pushed each other. Push. A push is a foul now. Elbow to the chest, which I'm trying to push away from you, which Reggie Miller did, which Jordan did, Kobe did. It's a foul now. Guys are pushing. That's so different now. And you younger guys don't realize that because you didn't watch that game. That push, and Reggie Miller said it. I shoved Jordan. I shoved him for the game-winning shot. And if you watch it, he goes and pushes him. But that was okay back then. That was basketball. Get him out the way, shoot the shot. Reggie Miller admitted it. He did it. It's just sad because, you know, nowadays there's no defense in the NBA now. And I say, well, people go, well, this stage can play with that stage. No. In the 90s, anybody from the 90s could play today. But could people from today play in the 90s? And I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. LeBron's a specimen. LeBron is a freak of nature. But I'm going to tell you what LeBron would have had in the 90s. If LeBron went against the bad boys, elbow to his face. To his face. Not pushed on the ground. Elbow to his face. All that people moving out the way when you dunk, and I said this before, moving out the way when he dunked, ain't none of that. Elbow to his face. Thrown on the ground. Yes, he's a big dude, but he wouldn't have been that big back then. So think about it. He's 260 now. Back then, he did about 240, which is still big. Still big. 240 is still big as a small forward. He was still huge. So, you know, you got to think of the timeline of how people work out. Back then, 240 muscle, you know. But Dennis Rodman said it best. I'd have shut LeBron down. And Dennis Rodman would have shut LeBron down. Scottie Pippen would have shut LeBron down. Remember, they had Jordan stoppers. Jordan stoppers. They paid people to stop Jordan, and they couldn't stop Jordan. Pippen could have played D on LeBron. Rodman could have played D on LeBron. And they would have beat him up all day long. It would have been just, it would have been punches to the rib, elbows to the rib. You see how Rodman played? He get the rebound, elbow you in the rib by accident. Oh, accident. Ooh, you got your rib broke. This was real basketball back in the 90s. This was hard nose. This was jail ball. LeBron is playing, I'm bigger than you, get out my way. And I love LeBron. I'm not knocking him. But if he would have played in the 90s, LeBron would have been LeBron, but he had a few broken ribs, a few broken noses, missing teeth, Because that going to the hole, you think the bad boys of Detroit was seeing that? You think the Knicks was letting him run to the hole and moving out the way? Oakley? You think Lambeer was gonna and Rodman back was gonna move out the way? No. See, that's what I tell you. The timelines are different. I believe LeBron would have been LeBron back then. But ain't nobody moving out his way in the 90s. Nobody. I'm looking at my Knicks team. I'm looking at Detroit. Elbow to the face. Get out. Don't you come in here with that. He goes up for a dunk. Two people jumping on, throwing to the floor. They don't care about the ball. Don't care about the foul. Throwing to the floor. Flagrant, remember back then the flagrant foul was different. Flagrant foul. We don't get kicked out. It is what it is. You guys are talking about this baby basketball now. I mentioned that, William. Appreciate it. I mentioned that. Mission goal. We're going to talk about the Giants. I had a big argument today about the Giants. Big argument. Fader content, you talking about the Rockets. Listen, the coach, you got to understand something. His system, it works for the regular season. Running gun, it works for regular season. Playoffs, it don't work. Harden needs, how can I say this? Harden might be one of the greatest scorers of our time with Kevin Durant. Harden needs a coach who allows him to score, but makes the team play defense, because Harden don't play defense. Harden needs someone that can get, like Jordan, give him the ball, take the ball. But we don't need you. Jordan play D. We don't need you to play D. Team defense. And Harden don't have that. D'Antoni, the reason D'Antoni will never win, I think he'll never win a chip, is because it's offense. Offense does not win championships. You can't name the last offense that won a championship. And I'm telling you right now, at this moment, I'm gonna scroll down. You can't name an offense in any sport that won championships. Not one. It's always defense. Problem is, you guys see the offense, but you forget that team had a very good defense. So I'm gonna scroll the comments, but I guarantee you that you guys are gonna say names of all these other people and all this other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, But guess what? It wasn't offense; it was defense. Yeah, mid-range is gone. There's no more mid-range players besides Kawhi Leonard. There's few mid-range players. DeMarcus DeRozan. A few mid-range players, but it's not many. There's not many mid-range players because people don't know how to shoot a mid-range shot. They know how to shoot a three-pointer. Wait a minute. I'm a stop the live. Time out. I get 2 timeouts per live. Big Rob said Allen Houston was the most underrated player in the NBA. I'm going to tell you something about Allen Houston. First off, I'm a Knicks fan. I could not stand that we signed Allen Houston. Look at my face when I talk to you. I could not stand that we signed Allen Houston. Right? But as time went on, I'm watching Knicks game. I watched every Knicks game back then. Back in the 90s, I watched every single Knicks game. I didn't miss a one. And I'm watching, and at the box score, Allen Houston had 40 points. I ain't see him score nothing but 2 shots. But Allen Houston always had 30, 20, 40. He always had points. And I was like, this dude is terrible. When is he scoring these points? Allen Houston was a mid-range in a long range. He shot the 3. He was a killer. But Allen Houston would be like, and walk away. And you would never know he should. You would be like, oh, who shot that? Oh, there was somebody else. It wasn't Allen Houston. So Allen Houston, as much as I hated him, when I actually saw his stats and I started watching him for real, Allen Houston would score a quiet 40. Quick 40. Quick 40 points. No big deal. He scored a quiet 35. And you would never know he scored these points. You like, when did he score 35 points? Like, when did it happen? I didn't even see this. But he boop, boop, boop. He's knocking it down. He played no defense. He was the James Harden's back then. He would do this in front of you, but he would play no defense. So Allen Houston was actually an offensive juggernaut, but you didn't see it if you didn't watch. That's why he made all-star teams. That's why people always said he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. He could score it well, but if you were watching the game, it was Allen Houston, and you like this. And then next thing you know, they show the box score. It's the third quarter. He's got 26 points. And you're like, when did Allen Houston score that point? So Allen Houston, to me, I couldn't stand him. But when I started watching him and started looking at his stats, I was like, holy shit, this dude you couldn't stop him from scoring. He was a scoring machine. Allen Houston had some great games. When he got Sprewell, that's when things got crazy, because now you got him and Sprewell, and they were both just dominating like crazy. Sprewell took a lot of pressure off Allen Houston. But Allen Houston, man, I didn't like him at first. I didn't know how he scored the points, but until I started really watching him, hey, that boy could score. That's why he's still with the Knicks front office right now. Oh, Bernard King, Bernard King, of course. James Van III, the game is not the same. It's not the same. Len Bias, oh man. Jonathan, the Jordan thing, and this is why I said about The Last Dance. The Isaiah thing was known by a lot of people, man. It wasn't just Jordan. They're making it seem like it was just Jordan. It wasn't just Jordan. Listen, Chuck Daly's the coach of the Pistons. Joe Dumars was on the Dream Team. Google it. Why wasn't Isaiah? Think about it. Chuck Daly is the head coach of the Dream Team. Let's Google this. Let's do this. So we don't have any miscommunication. I'll tell you guys how I am. Dream Team. Popped up, 92. Chuck Daly is the coach. Head coach, Chuck Daly. Scoring leader, Charles Barkley scored 18. Okay. Here's the problem. As we go to the team, wait, I'm going to go to the team. Forming the team. I'm going to go to the team. I'm going to show you guys something. Here we go. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, the greatest center of all time. Chris Mullin, David Robinson, Charles Barkley. And then the Johnson had retired, HIV, blah, 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 blah. They added Clyde Drexler over Isaiah Thomas. An alternate was Joe Dumars. And I'm sorry, I thought Joe Dumars was on that team. He was an alternate, but he never played. They added Christian Laettner for Duke University. Over Shaquille O'Neal, which is wild, but at that time, Christian Laettner was a superstar. So here you go. You have Chuck Daly as the coach. They got Joe Dumars as an alternate that never played. He got if something happened, he'd come in. Christian Laettner as the college kid above Shaq, which is wild. But at that time, Christian Laettner was that guy. And you don't allow your best player to come on the team. Chuck Daly was the head coach. And both of his players weren't playing. So you can go ahead with that. Just when I tell you, there's a lot that you guys ain't reading. D said we're gonna have hockey, NBA, NFL, baseball. Oh, listen, I'm gonna do like seven ticket parlays. Like I'm gonna have 7 tickets. I'm gonna do parlay. I'm gonna do that. What I do, guys, too. When we get this sports rolling, when I do my sport. What the fuck is that? I do my sports betting. I'm gonna give you guys my picks, right? But I'm gonna do what I do is parlays. I do football, basketball, hockey, baseball. And since they're all gonna be up going on, oh, our parlay is gonna be stupid. And D knows, he knows how we do. We put it up. Yes, 90s was the big man era. That's what it was. Thank you. Frank Smith said Braun don't have the killer gene like MJ and Kobe. Exactly. And I like Braun. Like, listen, he's amazing. He just doesn't have that thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody doesn't have that thing. He doesn't have it. Now he might try to do it after this documentary and fuck up the whole Lakers. Try to start taking shots he shouldn't take. But LeBron doesn't. He's more of a passer. If you want to compare LeBron to anybody, he's more like Magic Johnson. Is he as good as Magic Johnson? I don't believe so. As far as passing, but he's more like Magic Johnson. Distribute the ball. Do what he do. South Jersey, yeah, LeBron flops way too much. Fatal content. I'm sorry. Rodman was one of the greatest defenders of all time. I'm sorry. Rodman was one of the greatest defenders of all time. Even Rodman said, if he had, remember, you're looking at the old Rodman with his hair. He's old. The young Rodman defended point guards, two guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers. Rodman defended every fucking position. He was the Green of that time, but faster and better. And he didn't shoot no threes. Rodman scored the ball when he got a rebound or somebody passed him the ball into the basket. Rodman didn't care about scoring. He was defense and rebound. All he cared about. So you guys understand, it was a different time back then. Rodman got paid regardless because he could have a 20 rebound, 30 rebound game and 2 points. Rodman was cool with that. That was Rodman's game. He could have 7 steals. Look it up. 7 steals and 10 defensive rebounds. Rodman's game was that. Rodman's game was, I'm going to get my team the ball. That was the difference back then. You guys don't have players like that now, where they go for the team. Like Green is for the team for Golden State. That's why he's so good. Rodman was for the team. Rodman was like, I don't got a jump shot. I can only dunk once in a while. If you notice, he tips the ball. He don't grab rebounds. He tips the ball. So Rodman was like the poor man's perfect power forward. But what he did was he made himself the best. Tipped the ball 10 times to himself, got it, throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? And Rodman played defense. He played defense against every position. See, you young guys don't realize there were certain defenders back then in the 90s that can play everybody. Ron Harper was supposed to be the Jordan stopper. He went to the Bulls. There was another guy. They said, "Oh, we can get him to stop Jordan." Went to the Bulls. How they say, you can't control him or stop him. You can only hope to contain him. These guys ended up joining the Bulls that was supposed to be the stopper, the Jordan stopper. Bruce Bowen. Oh fuck, the original Jordan stopper, Bruce Bowen. Couldn't do nothing with Jordan. Nah, by the way, go look it up, Sean Patrick. Jordan and Pippen played against each other. When Jordan was with the Wizards, Pippen was with the Blazers, and Jordan got the best of them. And Pippen couldn't do nothing with him. But they knew each other too well. Oh, Anthony Mason. Yeah, one of my favorite players. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Fatal Contest said Curry won't last in the '90s. Why not? His game is outside. Curry would have definitely lasted in the '90s. His game is outside. He's tripled the productivity of his father, and anybody else shot the three. Curry's game is not inside. His game is outside. So Curry would have lasted in the '90s because he would have upped the numbers he has now. Curry and Klay Thompson and the dude from the Bulls, have put the 3-point to the point where you got to shoot 3 points for the rest of your life, catch up to them. I've got to do name for the Bulls. They weren't shooting threes like that back in the '90s. That's why Curry is the greatest shooter ever. There's something else I wanted to talk about. Hold on, something else I want to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna get to the comments, but okay. So not baseball. Baseball is working on their finances. The owners want a pay cut. Players are saying no way, and then baseball might be iffy. Basketball wants to come back. Someone just said that they're voting right now. Basketball guys want to play in the playoffs. They want the playoffs to start. Okay, but also football. Football's going to start on time. NFL. What's happening now is college football is deciding, because every school's not on the same page. You know, the different schools, different athletic systems, and they're deciding what they want to do. Hockey voted. Hockey's ready to come back. Hockey's going to start with the playoffs. What hockey's doing was waiting to see what the NBA does. Hockey's almost ready. I think hockey might be the first sport. Hockey might be the first sport to come back. Because they're ready. They're ready. They just wanted to see what NBA does as far as playoffs, no playoffs, pre-games and then playoffs, and, exhibition games and playoffs. But hockey was ready to already come back. I think it's with 20 teams or something like that. I might be wrong. Hockey's ready to come back right now. I figure the next couple of weeks, hockey will be back. They wanted to really see what the NBA was going to do because it's a similar sport. The one's on ice. The NBA plays above the ice, so either way. So we'll see. But NHL already said, hey, we're ready. We just got to... They're trying to work it out with the players, with the union, with the owners. So hockey's pretty much ready. The problem with baseball is the pay cut. A lot of the people are like, nope, we're not taking the pay cut. We might as well sit home, collect our money. You still got to pay us. F that. I'm not mad at that because the guaranteed money is guaranteed money. You can't tell me if I make $10 million, you pay me $2 million. I wouldn't go for it. I'm sorry, I wouldn't go for it. So you can't tell me that. Durant, what's good? Gary Jones, what's good? Excuse me. Yeah, Ken, D'Antoni's not about defense. D'Antoni's about scoring. And the system works during the season. What you guys got to understand is D'Antoni's system is one of the best during the season. Playoffs involve teams that play defense, teams that score on the triangle system, on their post. What do you call it? Post. I forgot the name of that word. Their systems. They have systems, and if you only score offense, it don't work like that. It don't run like that in the NBA. In football, the Rams won the Super Bowl with offense. Facts. But they also won the Super Bowl with defense by that last second tackle by what's his name? on the Titans. Defense wins championships. Never get it messed up. I'm a live and die by defense wins championships. Had LBJ stayed in Miami, he couldn't stay in Miami because they were bums already. And they already lost. LBJ needs help. And that's my knock on him. He needs help. And don't, listen, for you young boys, don't tell me about Michael needed Pippen. Listen, I'm explain something to you guys. Here we go. Here's my rant. Everybody don't text nothing for my rant. I'm gonna catch up on the comments. Okay. Michael Jordan's team was drafted. Pippen was traded for and drafted for. Nobody knew how Pippen was going to be that good back then. Pippen was one of the greatest players of all time, yes. Kukoc was drafted for 2 years before he came to the league. 2 years prior. He didn't even want to be in the NBA. All the players on the Bulls were drafted. Drafted, except for Steve Kerr. He got signed from another team, but he wasn't that great a player anyway. Okay? The Golden State Warriors. You want to talk super? I know, guys. Super team. Stop it. Stop it. Steph Curry was drafted. Klay Thomas was drafted. Green was drafted second round. Second round. They formed their own big three. They won chips. Splash Brothers won chips. They beat Kevin Durant down 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Came back and beat them. What you guys don't understand, when they won the chip again, they asked Kevin Durant to join them. Go look up the Hampton Five. They were in the Hamptons in New York. And they went to Kevin Durant and said, come with us. We'll be unstoppable. We're already unstoppable. But add you, no one can touch us. Let's go. We want you. They asked Kevin Durant to come. At the same time, Russell Westbrook said, I'll do whatever I need. I messed up on. I'll do it. I'll keep you. Come on. Whatever we need to do. Tell me what I need to be better. Let's do it. Kevin Durant left the whole Oklahoma City franchise in their hotel during Labor Day weekend. And as he's in the Hamptons, he signed with Golden State. They missed their family barbecues. They missed everything because they wanted to wait for what Kevin Durant said. Meanwhile, Golden State sold them when the entire team showed up. The entire team showed up and said, Durant, fuck with us. We need you. Even though they won chips, they beat him. That's what you guys don't understand. Kevin Durant wasn't a sucker. Golden State asked him to come. I called LeBron a sucker because during the Olympics, Stephen A, go look it up. Stephen A called it, and I didn't believe Stephen A, but I do now. Wade, Bosh, and LeBron decided to go to Miami. You know why? No taxes. So that's the best place to be, Miami Heat. No state income tax. So Bosh leaves Toronto with double tax. LeBron leaves Cleveland, which is the regular tax. And they all go to Miami, which is no tax. And they form a big three. And what you guys also don't know is they should have won more chips. The reason they lost to, and this is, you can Google this stuff. I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys stuff you can Google. And these are stories I read a lot, I study a lot. This is stuff you guys probably don't know. The reason they lost to the Mavericks, and I laugh about this every time I hear the story. You know why Miami Heat lost to the Mavericks? Dirk Nowitzki had the flu. Let me take a sip of my cup before I tell you the story. Dirk Nowitzki had the flu. He was sick as hell. LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, pregame, were going, we sick. They kept being disrespectful. So he's not playing. He's sick. He's on the sideline. Not even he goes, oh, they gonna play me? Mind you, Dirk Nowitzki's sick as hell. And he's like, and they're like, they're doing like the hand clap. They go, my bad, y'all. Had they not, Dirk Nowitzki would have took over that series. Dirk Nowitzki saw them messing with him and saying that he wasn't sick because he was really sick. He came out and won that series. That's the greatest of all time, LeBron. Making somebody feel like they're not sick, they're sick, and that's the greatest of all time. And he comes back and tears the series up. Remember, Dirk Nowitzki couldn't be stopped the last 3 games. He couldn't be stopped. That was when he was sick. So you guys understand, there's stories behind this stuff. Dirk Nowitzki was sick. He was not going to play. And when he saw them disrespecting him, Google it. He saw them disrespecting him. He was like, okay. Kareem Butler told a story. He said, I'm going to play. And he went and destroyed the Miami Heat the rest of the series. He was sick, got better, destroyed them the game he was sick, came back, got better, destroyed them the rest of it, and won the series. So don't tell me LeBron is the best when Jordan was like, let's go. How what's that dude name? Not Lil Baby. The Baby is Lil Baby. And everybody's Baby something. I'm Baby Greg. I don't know what the fuck I am. Baby. Everybody's the Baby. The Baby says, let's go. That's what he did. Jordan was like, let's go. Dirk Nowitzki was like, let's go. Anybody want to get it, we get it. LeBron never did that. LeBron chip versus Golden State was, say it 2 times for me, Kyrie Irving averaging 26 points a game. I'm sorry, 25.8 points a game. He won that series. Kyrie Irving won the chip, which is why he wants his own team, his own team, because he knows what he did with LeBron. If it wasn't for Kyrie Irving, they would have not won that chip. So you guys can talk all you want. I'm telling you facts. Let me catch you on these comments. Sean Patrick, think Allen Houston low-key led the Knicks in scoring. I mean, I didn't even know he had 40. I'm like this. He had 40? I used to call my brother because I'm over there in the corner. I'm like, yo, when did Houston score these points? But he did. Big Lou, thank you. He ate mashed burn up. Believe it or not, Allen Houston ate a lot of people up. Allen Houston, listen, I was not an Allen Houston fan, y'all. Y'all not listening. I'm catching up with these comments. I was not an Allen Houston fan, but he ate a lot of people up. Bernard King was the GOAT, man. Scoring wise, he was hard to stop. $29, you're not late, man. You always here. We in the building. Exactly, D. Warriors was Kyrie. Spurs was D Wade and Ray Allen. Exactly. Like, come on. And I'm not knocking LeBron. LeBron is great, but you can't compare him to Jordan. Jordan had the game. He took over the games. Maya said, how do I think Bol would do? I don't think he'll do anything. He's got bad knees. No, Charles Travels. The reason Leitner was on the team because back then, that was the first year NBA players were allowed in the Olympics. It was always all college players. You had to have at least one college player on the team. So people don't realize that. Before the Dream Team, there were no NBA players allowed in the Olympics because NBA was the top. They worked it out where NBA players could be allowed, but you had to have the token college player, which they was gonna put Shaq, but they put Christian Laettner because of that. So Christian Laettner was there because of the college thing, and he was a hell of a player. Like Christian Laettner was a hell of a player. Hey Sean McNeil, Christian Laettner wasn't bad. He wasn't a bum. He wasn't a bum. Man, yes, my tickets do be on point. Nah, Rich, I ain't never get those. No, see, hold on. So Fado said Rodman got his lunch ate by Kemp. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Kemp was a high flyer. The problem with Rodman and Kemp was Rodman was always defending two people. He was always like Rodman was defending multiple people. Kemp did get he got in his ass, 100%. Kemp Kemp was Kemp, but they lost the series. So what are we talking about? There were moments always in Peru. Um, that was Rodman's game. Kemp did some damage to him. I would never knock that. Kemp did some damage to him, but at the same time, they lost the series. I'll take Rodman all day. Okay, 29 said, "What up, Greg? Not to switch subjects, but just watched the Lawrence Phillip documentary on Showtime. He was nice." Hey, 29. I knew a friend of mine knew Lawrence Phillips very well, and I said at one of these lives, and someone actually said they knew him. Um, might have been one of the greatest running backs of all time. I'm not gonna lie to you. Lawrence Phillips might have been one of the greatest running backs of all time. Problem was he had mental issues, probably bipolar. In college, he had a lot of problems. People always he got arrested like twice. People were covering a lot of issues. He got to the NFL, Rams. He was doing his thing, but you can't fight mental issues. You can't fight it. And Lawrence Phillips just, I mean, talent wise, I can put Lawrence Phillips with Bo Jackson. Talent wise, he was there. He showed it. He showed it in college at Nebraska. He showed it when he got to the NFL. But the dude had mental issues. I told you guys before, when it comes to sports, everybody's just not there. And Lawrence Phillips wasn't there, and he didn't have the people around him. We came to find out later he was abused as a kid. That's why he was so violent. But yeah, I mean, dude, he had all the strikes. We talk about strikes. He had all the red flags. Lawrence Phillips had all the red flags, but his production and his talent was so good. You had to draft the kid. You had to. Post MJ, who was more dominant, Tim Duncan or Kobe? I gotta say Tim, even though I love Kobe. They were both so dominant, but you don't know nobody that could stop Tim. And I can't say it could stop Kobe, but Kobe had his injury years. As far as the time period between Jordan, Kobe, and Duncan, I argue this with my friends all the time. I say Duncan because no injuries and he couldn't be stopped. Trey Young, the new gunner. I don't know about Trey Young. We'll see. We'll see. Andre Beasley, what up with you? In the building, Flip Flop Club, you already know. Pinnacle Images, what's good with you, baby? No, stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Fatal content, stop that. When you start throwing LeBron stats, just remember who took the game over. It was Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving won that chip. And they were down 3-1. I never forget it because I was out here in a club, Dominican club. I made them turn the game on in the club. And I sat there and I told my man, I said, you know what? LeBron going to do what LeBron going to do, which is what he does. LeBron has a triple, though. That's what LeBron does. I said, but if Kyrie get going, game's over. And this is against the elite Warriors. Up 3-1. And my man was like, man, you bugging. I said, I'm telling you, this kid Kyrie, he can't give me a whole season. He can't give me steady stats. But he can win. That's what he does. And then my man was like, we'll see. And here goes Kyrie. Doing what he do. Don't ever give that chip, that Cleveland chip, to LeBron. LeBron won. He was there. He won. He was in the building. That was Kyrie. Go look up the stats. Kyrie Irving. You Google it. I'm gonna challenge you to Google it right now. Google it. Kyrie won that chip. Don't ever get that messed up. And I'm a LeBron fan. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm a LeBron fan. And I'm not a LeBron. I don't love LeBron, but I don't knock LeBron. Go look that series up. Kyrie Irving won that championship. Go look Kyrie stats. Go look up LeBron stats. I ain't got to talk no more. I'm going to sip my red cup. Don't talk me to death because I ain't trying to die today. T-History, what up with you, baby? Yeah, and you know what? Fatal content, you're right. When Green got suspended, that's when the Cavs took back over. But the series was over. Frank Smith, all right, Frank Smith, I'm getting in my comments. Frank Smith. He said Golden State minus KD will not win another title. Why? The big three is still there. Green, Clay, Steph are still there. Why won't they win another title? They didn't need KD. They asked, go look up the story of how KD got to the Warriors. They asked KD to come with them. See, you guys don't understand something. You guys think KD said, oh, they beat me, I'm going to go with the winning team. That's not what happened. KD was about to re-sign with Oklahoma. They call it the Hampton Five because the entire fucking Golden State Warriors came to the Hamptons and asked KD to join them. The coach, the general manager, Clay, Curry, Green, that's the five. Besides the rest of the team. That's why they call it the Hampton Five. They came and said, KD, we beat you. How about you join us? We'll be even better with you. The Oklahoma City general manager and coach are sitting there. It's a Labor Day week, Memorial Weekend. They're sitting there waiting to hear from KD. They messed up their whole weekend plan, their holiday plans, to sit there and hoping that KD would resign. They were in a hotel. Their families are barbecuing. They in a fucking hotel. Meanwhile, KD's in fucking the Hamptons with the entire Golden State organization. The owner, the general manager, the coach, the players were in the Hamptons to recruit KD. I don't know about you, but if the entire team comes and asks me to join them, the entire team, I'm going with those guys. Whereas I got a phone call from Westbrook I got a meeting from the vice president and the general manager. But the entire fucking team, the entire organization came and met with me and asked me to join the champions. See, that's the thing. Golden State was champions, and they said, join us. Curry said, I'm going to get you the ball. Don't worry about it. Go look this shit up. It's a true story. The Hampton Five, it's a true story. It's a whole story. ESPN, they know about this. It was out there. They came and they said they stayed with him for 2 days. The entire team, the owner, they was in his house. Hey, come on, Kevin Durant. Let's stop playing. Let's go. He signed. So stop all that. And I don't knock Durant for that. You know why I don't knock Durant for that? Because you want to win. And the team is begging you to come, which Golden State begged him. More so than the team that needs me and wants me, I think wants me. Fuck that, I'm out of here. You guys ain't showing me the love. These guys, they flew the entire franchise to the Hamptons. Yeah, I'm going with them. I don't care what you think. I'm going with them. LeBron went and made his team. KD was invited. They asked him, come to us and let's win some chips. There's a big difference there. LeBron made his team. That's why Jordan always talks ish about LeBron, because you couldn't make teams back in the 90s. There was none of this free agency. There was none of this 3-year contracts. There was none of this 3-year contracts with an option for 4 years. There was none of that. You had to stick with your team for 8 to 10 years and win a chip. Houston, Knicks, Blazers, come on, guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. There was no such thing as just switching teams. Because if that's the case, Jordan goes with Drexler, Karl Malone, he goes with Scotty. They all form a super team, and they win like 10 chips. They're the Patriots of the NBA. But that's not what happened, because that didn't happen that didn't exist back then. You couldn't be your own GM back then. Now you can. LeBron's his own GM. He got AD to the Lakers. Who the fuck does that? Don't tell me about nothing about basketball until you tell me how a superstar player got another superstar player to the same team. And he worked it. He had it. You getting traded. Look, Kobe's the only person I know that walked in the locker room and said, you motherfuckers want to say hello before you get traded tomorrow? How the fuck did LeBron do it? Kobe, you can look it up. Kobe walked in the locker room and said, I'm going to say goodbye to y'all now before y'all get traded. And dudes got traded. He got Paul Gasol. How LeBron went to set up a whole trade to get AD, and everybody knew AD was going. Everybody knew AD was going to LA. It wasn't even a fucking secret, because LeBron is a general manager. He traded. He did what Kobe did, but Kobe didn't do it. Kobe knew that they were trading for Paul Gasol, and half of them dudes were getting out of there. And he walked in and talked shit. Hey, I want to say bye to y'all before y'all get traded. That's Kobe being an asshole. LeBron set the trade up. The fuck out of here. Don't talk to me no more. Don't talk to me no more about the differences in LeBron and Michael Jordan. Because LeBron created super teams. Jordan played with teams that were drafted. The same as the Golden State Warriors were drafting players and played with the same drafted players. Don't talk to me no more if you don't know basketball. Golden State Warriors drafted teams. Chicago Bulls, the Jordan Bulls, drafted teams. LeBron's championship teams were made teams. Don't talk to me anymore if you don't see that. Miami was a made team. He didn't go back to Cleveland until Kyrie got signed. And then they brought Kevin Love. A made team. What am I missing? Then he goes to LA and gets AD. One of the greatest players we've probably ever seen. AD is probably one of the greatest players we've probably ever seen. He might be like the next Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. AD is a monster of a player. If you ever watch basketball, AD is like something special. And that's what we gonna say the greatest of all time is. Is he a great player? Yes. But miss me with that bullshit. Win some chips. Why are these dogs barking? Wait. So someone said no Scotty, no chips for Jordan. You can't say that because Jordan was there every year in the playoffs every year. Now here's the thing. Let's say Scotty, right? It helped, but Jordan was in the playoffs every single year without Scotty. It wasn't until Jordan passed the ball to Paxson that he won chips. And that line where they said Jordan, Phil Jackson said, "Who's open?" And he said Paxson. Said, "Give him the fucking ball." That's actually a real that if you know basketball, that's a true line. He said to him, "Pass the fucking ball. Stop waiting on Pippen. Stop fucking waiting for your shot. Get Paxson's what they're not sticking him. Passing the ball. Paxson hit the winning game shot." I'm sorry. That's actually a real story if you know basketball. Could he win without Pippen? We'll never know. He won with Pippen. But was Pippen like this duperstar player at the beginning? No. Later Pippen became a fucking monster. You know, a fucking monster. I mean, to me, Pippen's one of the greatest players of all time. Yeah, so someone said Melo was supposed to join the Miami team, but took the money. You're right. Melo took one of the biggest contracts he should never took. You're right about that. Because it was supposed to be Bosh, Wade. I'm sorry, Wade, LeBron, and Melo. But Melo wanted the money because the money was there. I can't knock Melo for that. Lou AT, exactly. So hold on. Lou AT said, from what I remember, LeBron, Wade, all of them were celebrating just before the half, about to go up 3-1. They thought the series was over and woke up no whiskey. They said that white boy was nasty. Yes, hold on. That was he had the flu. That was the game. He had the flu. So what happened was he's sick. Karan Butler, look it up. Google it. Karan Butler says it. Karan Butler says, I thank them for talking shit. Because Nowitzki's sick. He's very sick. He's throwing up on the sideline. He's messed up. He's got the flu. So they're like, they thought they went in it, you know, blah, blah, blah. I think they got it. And they woke Nowitzki up. And Karan Butler's like, Nowitzki turned around. They had a huddle. And Nowitzki said, okay, fuck this. I'm playing. Let's go. And everybody, because they kept deferring, they kept taking the ball from Nowitzki. He was deferring the ball to everybody else. And he said, no, let's go. And he won the rest of the series. And Karan Butler said he thanks those mother. And Dwayne Wade is like his son's godfather. And he was like, he thanks them for waking Nowitzki up. Because had they not did that shit and made Nowitzki feel like, they made him feel like a piece of shit. They made him feel like, oh, I'm not, like, Nowitzki told the rest of the team later he felt like he wasn't playing. They made him feel like he was nobody because he's sick. He wanted them to handle one game and then he come back. And he made them they made them feel like he was like, oh man, I'm letting my team down. But not only that, but they playing me over there. They woke him up. Mr. 15-footer came and destroyed the Miami Heat. Nah, sorry, brother. Fatal contact, you're wrong on that. Dirt killed the Heat. Okay, he said keyword let's hard to join over. Let you right. You right. Okay, but first 7 years, Jordan was leading. Listen, I'm not a Jordan fan, guys. I'm a Knicks fan. Wait a minute. I hate Jordan, but I recognize his greatness. And as far as the Last Dance goes, I got to tell you guys of what I saw in my era. The first 7 years led the league in scoring. Uh, Beat damn near everybody. It was the great. Remember, Celtics were a great team. Pistons an amazing team. Lakers an amazing team. Go look up Magic Johnson's Lakers. How many times they made it to the finals? They lost a lot, but they were like Tom Brady. They kept getting there. Magic kept getting to the finals. That was when the West was so. So think about it. Magic Johnson is playing with the best players in the league. Showtime Hollywood Lakers against the East. Go look it up. Magic Johnson lost a lot of finals. I think he lost more than Brady. Brady lost championships. Johnson, I think, lost like 2 to Isaiah, 2 to Jordan, 2 to Bird, and he still got like 4. So, or 3 or 4. Like, think about this. This is a different era. But my thing with Jordan is, it took a lot for him to get what he got. He beat dynasties. Back then, there wasn't that free agency, y'all. See, that's what y'all don't realize. There wasn't super teams. There wasn't, I'm going to go sign with my mans in them. There wasn't that. That's why I give it to Jordan. You can talk LeBron and win. Like I said, I respect LeBron. But back then, it wasn't, I'm going to sign with my mans in them. Back then, you were with your team for 10 to 15 years until they traded you or they let you go and you free agent sign with someone else. It wasn't the same NBA. Now, 3 years, you're a free agent, you go do what you do. That's not the same NBA. The old NBA, you were with your team for a long period of time. You were locked down. You were with your team. And I had to build through the draft. I had to build through getting players better, some free agency. But it wasn't the same thing. See, that's what you guys don't understand. It was not the same thing. Let me fill my cup real quick. We got 41 live. Hit that like button, y'all. I'm gonna get my wine up real quick. Pardon me. Like I said, that's my biggest thing. Is you guys don't seem to understand when you talk about Jordan and LeBron, we're talking about pre-free agency. Pre-people just leaving teams, going to other teams. It wasn't like that back then. It was not like that. You had to play for your team for like 10 years before you could leave. I mean, this was real basketball. You know? And my biggest thing is how do you guys talk about who's great now when guys are going to teams and being superstars? See, I'm gonna catch you when it comes, but see, I'm gonna tell you something. Golden State, and it's my biggest argument. Golden State super team. No, they're not. They were all drafted. Clay was drafted. Steph was drafted. Green was drafted second round. And they won a chip. There was no super team. They were drafted. It's good coaching, good general manager. That's it. The Bulls. The only free agent the big free agent they had was Rodman. Everyone else was drafted. Pippen was drafted. Kukoc was drafted 2 years before he came. So what are you talking about? They were drafted. And Jordan embarrassed Kukoc. He embarrassed him during the Olympic game. Okay, so what you guys understand is now with free agency, even any sport, NFL as well, you can do more. But back then, you're stuck with your team. There wasn't these guys moving team to team. There wasn't none of that. That's why I like the old NBA and the old NFL, because you just wasn't leaving your team. You stay here or you don't play. You know? Let me catch up on these comments. Mr. Anderson in the building, what up? Yeah, LeBron thing is he has a lot of losses. It's not like he has a majority of wins in the finals. LeBron has more losses in the finals than wins. And that's not all his fault. He played against some good teams. But at the same time, the GOAT conversation goes to well, what do we do? I'll give you my greatest of all time. All right. And I don't know why these dogs are barking like this. Someone's walking over here. So look, I'm gonna say Jordan's the GOAT, in my opinion, greatest of all time. But listen to what I'm telling you. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest basketball player of all time on any level. For you guys that don't know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was a high school legend. He was a street ball legend. Yeah, he was a street ball legend. He was a college legend back when you couldn't go to the NBA until you knocked it out. He lost 2 games in college. A college legend. So high school, street ball, college, a legend. Lou Alcindor. Then he went to the NBA, a legend. Okay? To me, he's the greatest of all time as a basketball player because no one ever dominated every level of basketball. And he dominated streets, high school, college, NBA, championships, everything, right? And he fought Bruce Lee. I'm going to say it one more time. He fought Bruce Lee. Greatest of all time. I'm sorry. Greatest basketball player of all time. Any level. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, greatest of all time after him, I've got to say Jordan because I watched him. My Knicks teams from 92 and on were some of the greatest teams of all time. The Knicks teams were amazing, but they couldn't beat Jordan. So, took the Mels. After Jordan, I gotta say Kobe. Kobe was just... After Kobe, I gotta say Tim Duncan. Because don't get it messed up, Tim Duncan had them ships. After Duncan, and I will say Kobe, I won't say Shaq because of Kobe. And I thought Shaq was amazing. After Duncan... Damn, it's so hard. So many. I'll say LeBron. People don't give Duncan the credit, so I'll say LeBron. But people don't remember Duncan, Mr. Fundamental. You couldn't stop him. So for me, Jordan's the greatest in NBA. But people forget about Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, every level. Go look it up. Go Google this shit, bro. street ball, high school ball, college ball, when you had to stay in college the whole time. He lost 2 games his whole college career. Chips, 2 games. NBA, 1 chips, and fought Bruce Lee. Look, I know some of you are like, he fought Bruce Lee in the movies. It's not real. You ever fought Bruce Lee? Have you ever fought Bruce Lee? Have you ever fought somebody Chinese? Have you ever fought somebody Korean? Have you ever fought somebody in your life? You are here stunting. He fought Bruce Lee in a movie. So while you out here stunting, remember that. He kicked Bruce Lee in the chest. Go watch the film. I know that. I watched it growing up. Go watch the film. He kicked Bruce Lee in the chest. After that, I'm done. Greatest of all time. Lou Alcindor. I'm gonna call him Lou Alcindor. I'm gonna call him his name. Y'all can call him Kareem Abdul. So don't argue with me. Don't talk to me. Don't give me no blah 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 blah. I'm telling you what it is. If you kick Bruce Lee in the chest, you're like here. Listen to me. You're like here. Because I can fight. Could I kick Bruce Lee in the chest? I don't know. I probably couldn't. So you're like here. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're like a 9 of a person that can fight. And his 7'3" ass kicked Bruce Lee in the chest. Don't talk to me no more. Don't write me. Don't text me. Don't get to know me. Don't say nothing. He kicked him in the chest. Don't talk no more. It's over. Don't say nothing. That's why he's the GOAT. Oh, so we said Bo Jackson, the greatest running back. No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so, Earn Money. So let's go. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a. I'm gonna do this now because I know my guys are here. I got 40-something people here. I know my guys are here. So let's do my top 5. My top 5. And I want you to comment. I'm gonna catch up on the comments. My top 5. Every position football. Every position basketball. If you want to do soccer, we do soccer. Baseball, not so much. My top 5, real quick, but I'm gonna catch you on the comments. So you put your top 5, I'm gonna put my top 5. Big D, what up with you, baby? You not late, Glenn. You good? KD in the building. All right, we're gonna get into that right now. I'm actually going into that right now. KD, you bugging, baby. Let me catch up on these comments. If I skipped you, please re-put your comment in there because I'm trying to catch up on all of them. Earn Money, yeah, look. Pippen was a bitch. That migraine game, I've had migraines before, okay? Hold on. I played a football game with a migraine, scored a touchdown. I played a football game with the flu, the full-blown flu. Scored a touchdown, interception, 17 tackles. Don't tell me that bullshit. I was an athlete. I hate being sick. My mom's on the sideline giving me tea, rubbing my chest down with Vicks. I got kicked out the game twice because the doctor said I couldn't breathe. He said I'm gonna kick out the game. My homeboys threatened him on the sideline. My homeboys from the hood was like, if you take him out the game, we'll kill you. This is what it is. I'm from the hood. I'm on the sideline. My mom's just trying to get my chest right because I can't breathe. And the doctor's like, I gotta take the game. And my homeboy runs up and he said, with a gun. He goes, if you take him out the game, we're gonna shoot you. And I was like, hey, doc, I'm just telling you, like, I'm not coming out this game. It was a very important game for me. And I was like, no, it's my senior season. It's a very important game. They're trying to stop me. They can't stop me, but I can't breathe, but I can't come out the game. Twice they carried me off the field. Don't tell me about the will to win and what you're going to do. You're going to do it, you're going to do it. My mom's was there. My mom's and my stepdad, rest in peace, was giving me tea and Vicks on my chest. They would, my homeboys was running up on the doctor, the doctor who runs the game. He left because they threatened his life. My homeboy put the gun on the doctor because they pulled me out the game because I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. It's fucking 30 degrees outside. I got athletic asthma. I can't breathe. And he took me out the game. I said, no, I can't. I'm sorry. I got back in the game. And he's like, I got to keep you out of the game because you're going to die. And I'm the doctor. And my homeboys run up with the gun. I'm like, tell him, hey, he in the game, bro. What's up? And I'm like, I go to my mom's like, because I don't want my mom to see what's going on over there. Because my homeboys is holding me down. They're like, no, he's playing. You get up out of here. Okay? So I know what it is. So don't tell me I don't know, because I've been there. We lost that game because the last play of the game, can't breathe. Rest in peace to my quarterback, Mo. I love my dude. They were triple teaming me the whole game. So it was I couldn't breathe, and I'm getting triple teamed the whole game. And I said, Mo, throw the ball up, bro. Just throw it. Just throw it up. I'm gonna go get it. Just throw it to the end zone. I'm gonna go get it. Like I can't tell you I can't say nothing right now because I can barely breathe. Just throw it up. I'm gonna go get it. And I told all the linemen, I said, chop block everybody in front of you. Chop block them. I'm gonna go get the ball. Whatever. Chop blocking was barely legal back then. Chop blocking. We get to the line. The whistle blows. The game is over. We blew it. Mo's like, Greg, I tried. I look back. I go, you mother. Because I'm flipping on everybody on the team. They didn't line up fast enough. We were 2 seconds too late. And I'm like, man, I can't even breathe. Like I'm yelling at people, and I have no breath in my lungs. I pretty much got pneumonia. And I'm like, you mother. Just like, so don't tell me about a certain type of person because I'm an athlete. I've been there. I've done this. And when I tell you I took games over, I did. You ain't got to believe me. We done had conversations on this chat a long time about me. New York City, I was all Queens 2 years in a row. 95, 96. I was all City 96. I was New York City All-Star, Queens East Division 96. Like, you can't tell me nothing. So don't go in there telling me what you woulda, shoulda, coulda did. And I know about athletes. I was an athlete. And I trained athletes. So I'm telling you that because it's like, this ain't easy. So people think you can just look at somebody and be, oh, he know what he's doing. He runs a 4.4. No, that's not how it works. It works on skill, speed, and skill set. You may run a 4.2, but you can't play for shit. And I'm going to call that out on Rugs from Alabama. The homie's a 4.29. Did you realize his production in college? And I'm going to get to your comments. But did you realize his production in college was terrible? You know what? He had damn good receivers around him. That speed means nothing if your skill does not equal to your speed. Julio Jones, production to his speed. I'm going to tell you somebody who's not. Calvin Johnson. Funny story about Calvin Johnson. Like I said, don't test I can talk about all sports, but don't test my football acumen because I'm really good with this. Calvin Johnson was not supposed to run the 40. He was waiting for the Georgia Pro Day because he played Georgia Tech and do his 40 there. So one of the dudes ran like a 4.3, and they were like, oh, he ran a 4.3, oh. So Calvin Johnson was in slippers. And he walked up to 2 dudes. He said, yo, what size you wear? He found his size. Calvin Johnson from the Detroit Lions. You can Google this. I'm not giving you no BS. He threw the sneakers on. Somebody else's sneakers. He wasn't supposed to run. He's waiting for the pro day. But he was so mad that this one dude ran the 4.3 and everybody kept talking about it. He's like, I'm faster than him. I'm better than him. Like, why would, what? Like, stop it. He wanted to shut everybody up. So we put somebody else's sneakers on. Boop, boop, boop. Ran a 4.28. The official time ended up being 4.35. But there were 2 times timed at 4.28. Because it's it's different people clocking you. He ran once and bounced. He ran once, threw the sneakers at the kid, said thank you, and walked out. He didn't even do the rest of the combine because he was mad. He was like, fuck you gonna tell me, and I know I'm the best athlete out here. So Calvin Johnson, official time, was put at like, I think it was 4.3 or 4.29. But they said he ran like a 4.2 flat, a 4.3 flat. Like it was different times because different dudes. So he wasn't planning to run. He didn't even finish the rest of the combine. He didn't do no routes. He didn't do nothing else. He bounced. He didn't do the pro day. He said, fuck that. Still got drafted. So you guys understand, if you know you good, you good. You ain't got to be. He literally took somebody's kicks and ran the 40 and walked out. Deion Sanders. You guys do know that Deion Sanders was rumored to have a 2.1. Do I believe it? Have you seen Deion play? He was faster than everybody. I've never seen nobody as fast as Deion. To this day, never. Randy Moss, and I went to camp with Randy Moss. I was in a high school camp with Randy Moss, and I've never seen nobody as fast as Deion Sanders. I'm sorry. So Deion was just out of this world. And even Deion said that Calvin Johnson was a different type of speed. Tyreek Hill, different type of speed. So some people just have it. So we can tell you what we want to tell you, but it all goes to, well, is he really that? So when it comes to my sports acumen, if you want to challenge me on certain people, I'm going to tell you what they ran, what they were supposed to run, because what they supposed to run means what they probably ran in college. What they ran is what they did in the combine on personal workouts. And then what they look like on film. Because on film, some guys may run a 4.5. But on film, they look, and Jerry Jeudy, there were a few dudes in the draft this year that ran slow on the 40, but looked fast. Well, Jerry Jeudy's one of those guys, and he looks fast as hell on film. But he ran a 4.5. You guys gotta understand football. Football is, when you're telling me to run straight, it doesn't always work. As a defensive player, you're telling me to chase somebody, I can catch him. If you're telling me to outrun somebody, I can catch him. I mean, I can beat him. Now, I'm gonna tell you a funny story before I forget to these comments. So I was a wide receiver, I was a running back, I was a backup quarterback, I was everything. So one of these plays I'm actually playing tight end. I'm playing tight end in this game. I changed my number sometimes. Like it was when I was a senior, it was a lot of stuff. The game plan was around me. So it was what it was. I had to change my number, I had to do a lot of stuff. A lot of illegal stuff probably. So I'm playing tight end. And they go, we're gonna do double pass. Our wide receiver's terrible. We're gonna throw the ball to my brother, my homie. Throw him over there, and he gonna throw the ball to you. So the first play, I fell. I slipped. Boop. No one could beat me to the back, but I slipped. Okay. They sacked him. Boop. He's done. Coach goes, you mother effer. Are you gonna catch the ball? I was like, Coach, I slipped. Like, happens. I slipped. Is what it is. Said, run the play again. Same exact play. Double pass. Quarterback to the guy out there. He throws the ball to me. And I'm the tight end now because the tight end has to get open. I fly down the field. Same as that play. Twice in a row. They're ready. It's same play. Throw the ball. Catch it. run down. I scored a touchdown. Then later in the game, my JV coach was the coach of the other team. So the ball goes in the air, a fumble. I catch it midair. I run back 60 yards for a touchdown. Then an interception. No, I'm sorry. What was that? Kick return. 60 yards for a touchdown. And my coach is like, "What the F? That's you? Why was you that fast when you played for me?" I'm like, "Coach, you wild. Like, come on. Coach Aiken, you wild." I was always fast, bro. So later, I'm learning. I'm still learning football as I grow up. I'm still learning football because all I want to do was hit people. I just want to hit people. And what happened was we had a big game, a homecoming game against, and I might have said it in one of these lives, against Washington High School in New York. I played for Springfield Gardens, and I'll never forget how my coach tried to motivate me, but he kind of crushed my dreams. But what he also did was made me angry, and I wanted to kill everybody in the vicinity. So it worked. He motivated me. At the end of it was talking about the quarterback was going to Penn State. One of the wide receivers was going to Penn State. Another wide receiver was going to like another D1. And here I go. I've got D1 offers everywhere. And they're like, yeah, I was a safety, but I played linebacker my senior year because I was a tackler and because no one ran a throwing offense back then when I played ball. So I'm a safety, but I'm going to play linebacker. In college, I play safety. So here I go. And here goes the game plan. And my coach is like, blah, 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 blah. Game, we had like 10-page game plan. Boom, 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 boom. At the end of the game plan was the notes. Where this is what we need to watch out for besides this, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the game plan, this was game 10. Homecoming. Game 10. At the end of the game plan, and it's a little emotional for me because it was so crazy that he did this. He said my last name, P, cannot cover number 1 or number 10. We don't know what to do. So we're going to move him back to safety. And we hope that he can cover at least one of them. He said my name in the game plan. He called me out in the game plan. Thinking about it, I was almost in tears. I was like, oh, me? The best player in the city? Oh. And the whole team looked at me and they said, wait a minute. You're the best player. And they looked at me and the whole team was like, and I'm like, I look at the back page and I go, holy, maybe I'm not that good. I doubted myself. But then I thought about it and I said, these motherfuckers ain't as good as me. And so I caught myself and I said, man, I went to my locker and the coach's office is right here. I could see his office. And I was like, I started crying. I said, man, are they that good? Are these guys that good? To myself, I was telling myself at my locker, because now I'm the team captain, and so the whole team was looking at me. If I can't stick these guys, what they gonna do? And I was like, oh man, what do I do? Maybe they're that good and I'm that bad. Well, the motivation I tell you guys all the time, I turned around and I went to the lock. I had to pass the coach's office to leave the building. And I said, I'll never forget this. And I'm choked up. Someone's going to get carried out in a stretcher because of you. And he said, yeah, okay. And I walked out. The game was a day later. No, I'm sorry. The game was 3 days later. Excuse me. It was homecoming. The dude who was supposed to go to Penn State, I hit him. He flipped in the air. My dad actually got to see me that game. My dad was actually there, which made the game so much more. And my dad was there. And my dad was paralyzed. Not paralyzed, but he couldn't really walk. And I spin the dude in the air. The ball rolled down my head. And I didn't know. In film, I saw it rolled down my head. And I was so happy. I just cracked this dude up. And he was about to fall. They carried him off the field. I said, okay. You know, my coach said, you could have intercepted the ball. I looked over at him, and I told the whole defense, fuck him. Everybody dies. Everybody on this offense goes down. He said, let's go. Let's do it. I got one dude carried off the field. I got moved back to safety. I was a line. My national position is safety, but I was linebacker because we played a lot of running teams. But this team was a throwing team. Washington was a throwing team. So I had to go back to safety again. One dude's out. He's gone. Then they had another one, number 89. He's running around. He's running amok. He's running crazy. I told the linebacker, because we had two. I got moved from linebacker, but I had still two linebackers in front of me. And I told the linebacker, I said, push him to the middle. I'm going to tear his ass up. So the next play, because I saw the crossing route coming. I saw the crossing route. I was like, I can't intercept the ball because I want to hit somebody. And he's coming. And this dude is the fastest player on the team. I knocked out the best player, the second best player on the team. He comes across, and I told the linebacker, push him towards me. Just don't do a little nudge to the side. He's gonna come right at me. He did it. He's wide open. Ball's coming. I already saw. Once I saw the nudge, I was coming. This was before spearing was a call. I came towards him and I tore his ass up. Boom. The whole crowd was like, oh, we hadn't won homecoming in 5 years. My father is sitting there, can barely walk. He goes, they carried a second receiver off the field. I'm in tears because I can't believe my coach even told me, he said, yeah, you got the best guy out, but you can't stop that quarterback. So now I'm taking out the second weapon. They ran and shoot four receivers, which in high school was unheard of back in the 90s. And in the 90s, nobody ran and shoot. They did. Washington High School ran and shoot. So now I took out two receivers in the entire game. The ref came to me and said, if you target them again, I'm going to kick you out the game, which he had every right to. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. There was no helmet to helmet. There was none of the stuff we have now. But he kept seeing that I was taking people. I was taking players out of the game. I was mad. I was angry. I wanted to hurt people, and I was doing it. So now, let's say, I think it's 15. He was fast, but he wasn't that good. He comes, boom, boom, boom. He's doing this thing, and I tear his ass up. The ball's like over there, and I just hit him. The ref goes, if you do it again, I'm kicking you out the game. 15, the entire time I'm being scolded, I'm like, my bad. I thought I saw the ball. I'm lying. I just wanted to hit this dude. I wanted to hurt him bad. I'm telling you, I'm not a good person. Sometimes I want to hurt people. And the ref said, okay, but next one we kick you out the game. This dude could not get up. They didn't carry him off the field. He walked off on his own on merit. But he knew he got hit by me. Legal Springfield Gardens High School, man, I was a monster. So now they got one receiver left. They got a bunch of receivers, but this one more receiver that's really good. And I look at him, and I go, "You ready?" Because he's the only guy I'm worried about. The rest of these guys are like fourth string, fifth string. They'll be lucky if they make a goddamn play. I look at him, and I go, "You ready?" And he looks at me, and the fear in his eyes told me everything. He was like, so the quarterback is a big dude. So my coach is like, you done beat all these dudes up. You gotta get him. We can't sack him. He's so big. He's a big dude, like 6'4". He was a big quarterback. And I'm like, I don't do sacks. Like that's not my thing. But my coach is like, F everything else, safety blitz, you better get him. So now I done threatened this dude life over there. I done told him, you ready? Because I'm coming for him. I want him. I done knocked all the receivers out. I want him. And my coach goes, get him. Safety blitz. But you have to get him. So the first time, boom, I'm right there, but I miss him. I touch him. I touch him. I miss him. Second time, same thing. Just miss him. I miss him. I mean, the dude is good. The dude is really good. He tosses the ball. He's a big dude. He's like 6'4". I'm 5'11". I mean, I'm doing my best. I'm fast as hell, but this dude's getting rid of the ball. The third time, my coach calls a house party. House party in my school was everybody in. House party. We all go. We all hit them. Everybody dies. That's what, we call that everybody dies. Everybody dies. So he calls house party. So what happens is I tell the two defensive tackles in front of me, I go, yo, move to the left. Because I kept noticing that the guard was scared to death of everybody. Not just me. He was scared of it. Like, he was more like the dudes above, the tackles were too big for him. He was just scared. So I said, move over to the left. Let me run and see what happens, because you could tell he was just scared. He was a good guard, but he was just scared of contact. He didn't want to get beat up. So 3 plays in a row, house party. Let's go. Now I move up an extra 5 yards. I'm like, you know what? House party. I couldn't get to the dude first, and I want this quarterback so bad. Because I can't go back there and hit the other receiver. I want the quarterback. I get up there, and I'm flying. Woof. And sure enough, the guard is scared to death. He's scared. He stumbles back. I move him out my way. He's gone. It's me and the quarterback. Right? But I don't get him. My boy gets... As he runs from me, because I have a clear lane to the quarterback, and the guard is on the floor, so he has no protection. It's me and him, and I want to kill this guy. I don't get him, because he steps to the side. He's a big dude, and as he gets away from me, because he moves away from me, my boy smacks him. Pow! And it's a hell of a hit. Boom, on the floor. And of course, I jump on it, because back then, you jump on the pile. That's what you do. Football, you jump on the pile. So I jumped on it. I got my little hit. And it was wild because it saved the game. We won our first homecoming ever. It saved the game for us. But at the same time, it was wild because this showed me the power I had in football. When it came to offense, I got triple team, double team many a times. So many high schools. And you can name them and I'll tell you what they did against me. And then on defense, I was very dominant. But when I couldn't win the game, I was always there to help us win the game. Like I said, that game, I didn't win that game. I took the two receivers out. I did. But the game-winning tackle was a friend of mine. I just happened to see something in the guard where I knew I had him, but I couldn't get to the quarterback. Even though I had him, I couldn't get to the quarterback. He's on the floor. My boy had to get to him. I don't know where this story came from, but it just came up. Kevin Love was traded, bro. He didn't go there on purpose. Dominique Wilkins. Oh man. We had that argument. Magic won 5 out of 9 chips. You right. But he was there every year. But that's when the West was so weak. The West was weak back then. Pinnacle, I know about boxing, but I'm not that great in boxing and UFC, but I'll catch up on it. Okay, so D Hicks said, "Do I think Boogie's career is over?" Let me catch up on the time, cause okay, I'm an hour behind. Hold on. Boogie's career is over. Dak Prescott gonna get his money. Boogie's career is not over, not at all. Damn, my phone. Fuck. Boogie's career is not over at all. Boogie, that injury, he'll get by it. Catch up on these comments. Yeah, Magic had a team, but remember, it's not Magic's fault he was drafted to that team. Worthy was drafted to that team. It's not their fault. Big Bob J, how you doing? How would I break down a dream matchup between 2004 Pistons? It wouldn't happen, Bob Jack, because the 2018 Warriors would shoot the Pistons' eyes out. Pistons were a team that was for that era. That's when everybody shot mid-range jump shots. 3-point was not the big deal. The Warriors would kill the Pistons because 3 points. You can body us inside, but we gonna splash, bro. We gonna shoot. So it's different. Exactly. Jordan, Wilt, Bird, Magic, Kobe, Kareem. I still put Kareem at the top. I can't help myself. Big Willis, appreciate that $9.99. D Hick, no. I'm not saying Kobe and Duncan were better than Wilt Chamberlain. I don't count Wilt Chamberlain. You gotta understand something. Wilt Chamberlain's era, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's era was so different. You couldn't dunk. These were probably the most dominant. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain would dominate now. They would dominate with the Shaq era. Remember, Shaq was dominant. They would dominate because they were too big for everybody. So you can't really compare, in my opinion, you can't really compare because these are eras that, I'm sorry, but who are we comparing to? They didn't allow dunking for some time. So that's why I say, like, no, I'm giving Kobe because Kobe's Kobe. And Kareem didn't have the dunk, but they made Kareem stop dunking. 29, he said, my homie 29, what's up? Appreciate that, baby. UNLV running Rebel squad with Larry. Oh, come on. UNLV was crazy. Greg Anthony, Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman. Oh my God, that team was nuts. Bo was one of the greatest college players of all time. I give it to him. And I'm catching up on these comments, y'all. It's 9:05. I'm at 8:35 on the comments. Okay, hold on. Robin Corvino. He said football running backs. Brown, Peyton, Sanders, Dickerson, Emmett, Campbell. So what order are you doing that in? Because that you confused me with that. It's not a bad list, but what order are you doing that in? Adam Fritz says top 5 running backs: Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk. I'm not mad at that list. I'm not mad at that list. Barry's always one of the top. Walter Payton, for you guys that don't understand, which is why I like Saquon. Walter Payton is one of my favorite running backs. I had the Kangaroos, he was a sponsor. And dude just ran with power, man. But then Jim Brown, I love so much. And I wasn't around when he was around. I watched film on him. Jim Brown, because he was the dude who said, even if you're hurt, get up. Same speed. Jim Brown never celebrated. Watch Jim Brown. Go back and watch Jim Brown film. He never celebrated. If he was hurt, he got up the same speed. If he scored a touchdown, he got up the same speed. That's got to be taught. And back then it had to be taught because, like Jack Johnson, the champion, they had to tell him, be a certain way because you're black. So for Jim Brown, I love it because you could see that Jim Brown took some hits, but he got up, back to the huddle. So that's the big difference with me and Jim Brown. To me, Jim Brown's one of the greatest of all time because what he did running the ball was amazing, but also to me what he did when he didn't have the ball was like, I'm still here, you know. And he could have been knocked out of the league a long time ago. So look, guys, we are 2 hours. Let me catch up with these comments. I'm trying to get to all you guys. This is gonna be this sports talk is gonna be every Friday until sports is back on, and then we'll finagle it. And like I said, I will give you my sports picks, my picks for sports betting for you guys, just to let you know. Where do I have LeBron? LeBron's in my top 10. But there's so many guys that did so much more than LeBron. And I'm not knocking him. So many guys. LeBron has to catch up. OJ was damn good. You're right. GC, but Jim Brown never played hurt. Jim Brown never showed he was hurt. Remember, that's what they told him. And Jim Brown will tell you this. Look it up. Jim Brown will say, if you got hurt, act like you weren't hurt. Because he said it, the white boys would come at you harder if they thought you were hurt. So if you go look at Jim Brown's film, and I love it when he said this, he got up the same way from a 10-yard run and a 50-yard run and a 2-yard run. He got up, they pulled him up the same way. He would not let nobody know if he was hurt or not. He got up the same exact way. That was Jim Brown. My all-time Giants running back, well, Saquon starting early, Rodney Hampton. Only because I'm a fan. I love Rodney Hampton. I met him in person a few times. Saquon will be the greatest, but Rodney Hampton, hands down. I think he's like number 3 in the Giants record, rushing yards? 3, I believe it is. No, Morris is short term. As far as my homie, he asked my all time. Yeah, Jim Brown played across. Remember that? You know your history. He played across, and also he was taught. Like the boxing dude was taught. Don't be out here acting crazy. Do what you do. Get out of here. So guys, I'm gonna extend this another day when the sports start. But every Friday we're gonna go to Friday Night Lights. And like I said, I'm gonna give my gambling picks when we go back into gambling when the sports start again. But I appreciate all you guys. We're 2 hours in. I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta do some more stuff tonight. But I appreciate all of you. If you want to know sports, you want to rock with me, rock with me. My favorite sports movie is what's the one with they were in the middle of the street. They were in the middle of the street and they laid on the ground. Omar Epps. What's the one? What's the name of that one? It's supposed to be the fake Florida State. What's the name of that one? Tell me the name of that one real quick. That's my favorite sports movie. The Program. Yes. Program. You know why? Because if any of you ever went to college, The Program is pretty much like that movie. Yeah. I had the fortunate of going to Louisville for a short period of time. I got kicked out, but I became the starting strong safety at Louisville before they had a conference back then. And you know, you learn a lot. You learn a lot from dealing with people that are not where you're from. So you guys have a good night. I got something coming. Members only. I'm gonna hit you up. We got something coming. Sunday service coming next. But this sports talk is dope. We're gonna keep going because this sports talk is something I need. I know you guys need, and we will be more sports to be coming soon. Trust me when I tell you. Next couple of weeks, a lot of the sports is gonna be. We're gonna be watching them instead of talking about it. But I know you guys. Some of you guys need to know what's going on with your team. Well, guess what? I know. You guys be good.